What's up? Today, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about. Honestly, I brought my camera around all day in hopes that I would have something spark up to record. I did not. But that does not mean that I did not have a good day. I just am left in a unclear state of mind, I think, after a conversation. So, kind of bogged down with that. But releasing to make this video, and I also would like to talk about kind of what I'm going through, because I think everything is relevant, you know? So, today, what did I do? I woke up this morning at 7 a.m. on my own, okay? Not for any reason. And I was going to make breakfast, stick in the oven, had it already preheated in the oven, but my body was like, no, we're going to the gym. And I was like, okay, we're going to the gym. I got packed up, ready to go to the gym, sent it to the gym, did not have my headphones. And I was like, ugh. But it actually was one of the most fun times I've had at the gym, honestly, in a long time. Not even since I've been here, but for a long time. I was just stretching, I was doing my thing. I actually spent like almost an hour stretching, warming up, crazy. And then I went downstairs because the class came into the little area that I like to do my warm up in, and was just doing some rehab for my knee next to a rack. And some guys were like trying to do some muscle ups, and then they were like, no, you gotta come to this rack that was right next to me. And we just like kind of had this like, we like started drawing people in, and I was like kind of like, you know, motivating them and like kind of helping like cue them, because I used to be a strength coach. And like we were just all kind of like hyping each other up, and it was just like such a sick little like it almost felt like being in the weight room with the boys again. And so it just felt really good to be in a very energetic space, excitement around exercise, and then I just like made a few friends. Like I just walked past somebody else, and he was doing something like some mobility thing that I was just like kind of laughed at, and he introduced himself, and it was really just like cool experience just to like be have my ears open, and not like I feel like I go into the gym and I have my headphones in and I'm just like I'm so locked in. And it's because a lot of times I go in and right now like I'm getting real, and so like I kind of get like toned down and connect with my heart. But like since being like physically enabled to do a lot of things, and also being out of practice, like I haven't been a strength conditioning coach for over 2.5 years now, and that's like a lot of time to be out of the industry, and physically not being able to do a lot of things with my knee. Sometimes it's really hard for me to go to the gym and just be like, these people don't know who I used to be, you know? And like I just like, it's such an ego thing, but I'm always like I'm doing like these simple exercises or these baby exercises, or I'm weak because I haven't been in the weight room in so long. I'm so burnt out from the weight room. I just had to like remove myself for so long. And so like going to the gym is sometimes something that I have to like cut myself off, like shut my everything off, and just be like, I'm here to like get a couple things done and to listen to my body and just really like focus and not worry about, nobody's looking at me, first of all, but second of all, worry about like what other people are thinking about the exercises that I'm doing. Because I'm very, and I've always kind of been this way, like even in strength and conditioning, and I think like the nature of athletics is very like masculine, hard, like aggressive, go go go, and I am very much like, a lot of what I would do is very like supple and working on rest and trying to understand your body and connect with your body, because I think the sport itself is so aggressive that in the weight room it's important to build a connection with your body and strengthen things that are unique to your body. And obviously there's a couple exercises that are important for athletics, but all that aside, that's your little strength conditioning tidbit for the day. But I train very different, and the gym that I go to, it's not like the hardcore gym, but a lot of the people are like gym heads, you know? And so I just like try to shut off. I put my headphones in, I look like probably pretty aggressive, like I don't want to talk to anybody, but today I was like, you know what, like it's Saturday morning, I'm gonna enjoy this workout. I got there before the gym opened. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good workout. I'm starting my day. I don't know what's gonna happen today. which is always kind of like a glimmer of hope for me. I'm like, like, let's leave it up to wonder. And so I walked in, I made friends, I had a good time, hyped some people up, and yeah, so that was a good way to start the morning. Then I came home and I chilled, I made some breakfast, I started writing some things that I'm not going to announce yet, but I'm pretty excited for it. And let's see what else. I had my coffee, I enjoyed the sun, I napped, I just kind of like had a very chill, like reflective morning, just like restful. And then I decided to just like shower and go out and maybe get some coffee, and took my notebook with me and was like, well, whatever happens, happens, and we'll just kind of wander for the day. So I was on my way down and I saw balloons outside of Studios Key West, which is like one of my favorite spots that I found here. It is a gallery, a bookshop, and you know how much I love a bookshop. And speaking of, I have something to show you. And an art residency program. So it's a really cool like unit of or conglomerate of really cool like operations. And they had balloons outside, and so I was like, well, I needed to get a book, and I also had needed to reconnect with them. This is the book. So this guy, I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but he makes a bunch of these like little books, and they just have little like meditations in them basically, and they're super cute. I've read a couple different ones, like How to Love. There's one about anger that I started to read, and then I gave it to somebody and never got it back, but that's okay. And so I wanted another one because I've started to touch back into religion a little bit. It's definitely something that has been pressing on me a lot recently. I grew up Christian, and that was something that was like ingrained in my life. I went to college. I obviously stepped out on my own, kind of found the opposite of Christianity, and not necessarily atheism or anything of that sort, but found the secular activities and got into partying and all that stuff. And then probably 4 years ago denounced religion completely. So a couple years after college, and then and not in a atheist way, but more of in a spiritual way, and have since kind of like come back around. And this is very brief, but I would like to go into it a little bit more maybe in some future videos. But kind of came back around to an understanding of like truly Jesus's teachings, but I've also, so I'm kind of like coming back to that stuff, not to get distracted. I'm trying to stay on topic a little bit better, but I think this is important. And have since had like a lot more people asking me questions about it, like who know that I grew up Christian and have been curious about what that looks like. And then a lot of people like getting into the Bible for the first time. And then also coming back to it like myself a little bit. So, and just understanding it in the light of what I know to be true. But it's because I've done research in other religions, read a lot of other religious texts, and found what I believe to be truth about the existence of humanity and understanding Christianity in that light, I think. But these have been really awesome books that are very neutral. They address different topics. I think he's either a Buddhist or a Taoist. Couldn't tell you right now. Probably Taoist if I had to guess. Which is, I feel like, a very like nature-oriented, not religion, but a spiritual practice maybe. So these books have been really awesome, and they're easy to read. I just like will pick one and just kind of meditate on it for a little bit. There was one about meditation, about how to sit. So he has like a bunch of different ones that I would suggest like totally looking into. And it's more reflective. I would say it's not religious, but it's more reflective. So I saw that they had them the last time I went in. So I was like, you know what? Like I want to get connected again to a spiritual practice, and this was something that for me, felt very safe, felt very true, felt very honest for myself. So I'm gonna go back to that and see about incorporating that a little bit more into my life. And I'm going to church for the first time in probably 5 years tomorrow. At least that's the plan. I also kind of plan on going out tonight. We'll see. But I think I really would like to prioritize, and I kind of joked about that, and I probably shouldn't. But I think, yeah, I think I'm nervous, and I think because I haven't been to church in 5 years, and that's something that I have been very against. Not in a very hateful way, but in a very much like, I think being raised in that, and again, I'll get into this a little bit more, I think, in another video, but being raised in that had its effect on me, for better and for worse, you know, like everything is a double-edged sword. So I think that tomorrow, like going to church for the first time, and it's like a non-denominational service, there's a woman pastor, like it's more spiritual, I think, but being in the building for a practiced spiritual service on Sunday morning is going to be something that I don't really have a word for it. So, yeah. So I'm going to try to behave this evening, but I will intentionally go to church tomorrow. But yeah. Anyway, so I stopped by there. They had some balloons outside. They were having a little like holiday market. So I got to connect with them again, see a bunch of like random little artists with all kinds of fun goodies. I love stopping at those markets because a lot of my passion comes from artists and musicians and trying to promote their work, and just like general like craftsmanship is just so interesting to me. So like what people and like set an intention to create, you know, like these people sit down and they create this. What is their intention behind it? What are the skills and components that they bring into each one of these individual pieces? And what does it mean to them? So like I think true art truly means something to the individual, and sometimes like at these markets you get people who just like want to paint pretty things, and that's beautiful. But you also get people who create intentionally, and I think it's just so interesting, no matter the medium, no matter the product. I just love to talk to artists and musicians about what they create. So I always stop at markets. What did I do after that? I think that I biked to go find lunch. Ended up running into, I wanted to sit somewhere with live music, ended up running into a musician and got lunch with him, sat down with him, and talked about the music scene here, because to me it seems like musicians are very, very supported. Like they can make a living being musicians, but a lot of what they do is tourist-based gigs where they perform like cover music of like very like poppy, you know, the basic 16 songs that they run on repeat every time a tourist comes into the bar, you know, and that can be solace to a musician. And so I was very curious as to what the music scene looked like, what it needed, specifically from me and my skill set. And so finding out videography is a hole here, and that's something that they need to be able to promote themselves. And so is that something that I want to pursue? Maybe. It's another thing I get to put in my pocket as a tool to be able to make life successful here if I wanted to. So that was really awesome to get to connect with him. And then I wandered around. I ended up finding a place with gluten-free beer. Yes! And their menu has gluten-free stuff, vegan stuff, vegetarian stuff. I was like, yes! And like hearty, delicious, good things. Because like, I mean, if you're a vegan or have ever tried to go vegan or dairy-free or any of the kind, you're going to end up eating salads like 90% of the time. Or some like rinky-dink little thing that's like cold, or like what, that's not like hearty and delicious. Not all the time. Sometimes you can, but it's hard to find. And so there's a really cool spot. And then the other thing about this place, so one, that's a huge win for me. If you can have gluten-free beer, Oh, and then like allergen friendly food that's like really delicious. Locally owned. It's a couple that owns it. The guy brews the beer, and the beer was actually so good. And the wife, she does all the food, and I think it's Scottish is what the bartender said. So, you know, it's banging. But they also are a part of a program called Magic Meals or something like that. And what that is like people can just come in and say like, I need a meal, and they provide them on the house a meal for people who don't have food, and like on the house for free. And I think that is really awesome, and that's just like super reflective of what I've found in Key West, and what I think is just like so beautiful, and almost like shocked me into like cracking my cold heart. And I know that's kind of hard to believe, but like the depth of the care and love that people have here is something that I haven't experienced in a lot of other places, and it truly brought me to my knees and like showed me how much I've been fighting for myself. But that is just like something that resonates through this whole entire community, is like the people like really truly want to help others and make sure that they're taken care of. And so programs like Magic Meals, and I'll look it up and put a link in the description if you want to investigate it, if you want to reproduce it, if you want to contribute to it. I think they have like just a general like crowdsourcing like funding program. At least there was like a little QR code that you could donate, a little flyer, but I was like, that is just like so powerful, to be able to provide that for the community. And he was saying that there's a couple other restaurants around town that do that. So that was like super cool to be able to like find and connect with, and hopefully be able to promote that even further in the community and maybe expand that as well. And then on my way home, talked to my mama. Found some like cool back streets. I don't think I really want to say anything else about my trip today. I think the thing that was weighing heavy on my heart is also just like, as beautiful as this community is, it's expensive. And that's like something that like, it definitely I think provides the value that it costs. Like the value exchange is there, but if I have to find a way to contribute that value in a way that's meaningful to me in order to like reap the benefits that come with the cost that I'm paying. So that is one of my predicaments at the moment. Just sharing that with you guys because you're keeping up with this adventure, and I try to share everything that's on my mind, just so like you get a real view of what it looks like. I'm not always happy-go-lucky. I do have to think about certain things, and I want that to be something that doesn't intimidate or necessarily like garner sympathy, but empathy and understanding that like if you want to do things like this, if you want to move to Key West and not know anybody and not know anything about Key West, never having been there before, you're gonna have some hurdles and you're gonna have some obstacles. Or if you want to move to wherever God's green earth is open to your whims, and but there are some things that you have to consider, and so I want to put them out and kind of like how I process these things in order for you to be able to do the same thing if you want to, or just at least know what it takes if you want to come out here. So there you go. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say for the day. I guess that's it. So I don't think there's anything left on the plate to say, but I will again touch base tomorrow about church and how it went, and what we learned. And then I want to start incorporating a little bit of that talk into my content. I think it's important that we start talking about spirituality. I think it's been on the rise, and people are going through a really hard time right now and looking for hope. And hope is in you. Hope is in you. And there's nothing external that will save you. and people can help you and people can guide you, but hope is in you. And so but I want to be somebody who can educate and somebody who has background. I have 20 years of Christianity and Bible study in my heart, and I believe that that is something that has guided me. Oh, we're about to lose this. I think I've gone too long, but anyway, it's something that's guided me. I know to be beneficial to my life and how I live, and so I want to give that filtered back to the world, and help people understand Christianity, but in a better light, and kind of just like spirituality that helps you live a better day to day and treat people better, treat yourself better, treat the world better, earth, everything, and just like live a better life, and just a more hopeful, positive one. Because it's a hard time right now, for sure. But with that being said, hope is in you. If you have any questions, always put them in the comments. I look for things to answer. So if you have any questions, I'm such a conversationalist. It's sometimes difficult for me to come up with things that people need. I don't know. Whatever you need, comment it. And maybe I'll address it if I have the answers. And if not, maybe we'll do the research together. So anyway, I love you guys. Have a lovely, it's a Saturday night. I'm going to post it today. Okay, have a good Saturday night. And I will see you tomorrow.